Hi everybody, Tasha here from Pixie Mommy's Reborns. Welcome back to all of you new. Hello and welcome. This is Bindi, and Bindi is a full-bodied silicone baby girl. She is the Willow Awake sculpt by Claire Taylor Dolls, and she was painted by Jennie Lee of Weebabies Nursery. So she's gonna have a drink and wet feeding. I love to relax and feed my babies, pretend, role play, especially my silicones, and chat with you all. So I'm gonna try out her new bottle. Some of you might have seen it in my last little haul or video that I showed a few bits. I love this bottle. I talk about the about how I love that it has the bottom, and it's also frosted on the bottom here. So for drinking wets, perfect because because it gives that more of, I feel like, the illusion or kind of distraction from that there's that it's water and not milk. So make sure that you go and smash that subscribe button right now. Hit the notification bell so that you never miss another video. Make sure you give this video a like. There we go. Little Bindi's gonna take her drink and wet. So I figured I would chat today with you all. I was just talking to a friend, and this is not a new topic, but it's just one to, visit from time to time, and especially, good for new collectors to hear. And that is about our doll purchases and how our emotional attachments and how the everything goes within that purchase, or of what some of us call an adoption, because it's often a really big deal bringing home a new baby. When you get up into the silicone dolls, it's extremely pricey, although some reborns, high end can be there too, and that's the same. But anyways, for the silicone dolls, it can be. And by the way, before I go any further, I get a lot of questions. People even ask me on my Instagram about the drink and wet systems for the silicone, and they ask, can you use anything else besides water? People ask, like, can you use formula? Can you use the magic milk? Can you use like the baby alive food and then like flush it out? And the answer to that, which is my answer as, a doll collector, a collector of silicones, and what I know from the recommendations and, from like experience and seeing things happen to dolls and things like that, you cannot use anything except water for your drink and wets. Anything else can cause, problems and clogs and mold and things like that. And I recommend using distilled water, because even the minerals in tap water or regular bottled water can, build up in the tubing over time, just like you see water build up in your sink, your pipes, your shower, and things like that. Well, think of it inside of the doll as the same way. So, no, just water, which is why I recommend, or why I enjoy myself using these bottles that have the color on the bottom, and some of them have like the frosting on the bottom, because it really gives the eye illusion and it distracts you from the fact that it's water in here and not milk. And I also heat the water, I warm the water to hot, not burning hot, but pretty warm, because that, I feel like it helps it flow through better and it feels more real. And then when they pee, they come out the pee, it feels warm. So anyway, just a little drink and wet tip. and then about buying and selling. So, how many of you all feel that your buying experience, all in all, has plays a role in how you feel about the doll? I know personally I'm that way. I'm a very like emotional, sentimental person, and the dolls kind of, mean more to me in especially in finding that like perfect one that's really, meant to be yours. It's an emotional ride. I the more money riding, I think too, is it's nerve wracking, and you just want everything to go smoothly. And of course, there's like so many things that like can come up that you couldn't even like make up if you tried. Like the stuff that goes on. And I feel like if we have a negative experience attached to a baby, it can become very hard or even impossible, and affects that bond that you have with that baby, because you just feel like it's tainted, or you feel like, every time you look at that doll, the feelings of the experience come up. And, you know, I'm not talking about like a little glitch in shipping, or an artist taking a little longer than they thought, or I'm not talking about like, little things, even though I am sure that some people, those little things can affect as well. I'm talking about major things as well as the overall experience. To those of you that have been with my channel a while, and Oscar, my full body silicone baby boy. If 2 years ago, when I brought him home, for those of you that saw his box opening, you could see, I think that it came across anyway on camera. It certainly was the way that I felt, that everything was right as rain. It felt so good. And actually, it was a trade. It was probably, I think, one of the only, if not the only, trades I've ever done. And can you imagine on such an, major expense? But it just worked out. And his previous mommy that was getting, my Caden, we just were on the same wavelength. We vibed. We were both very, very happy. It all felt right. It all felt exactly how it should. And most importantly, we were like so excited and happy for one another. Like, she was so excited to see, me get Oscar, and I was so excited to see her get, Caden. And it was all like feel good, moments. And that, I think, was very helpful, especially in the beginning with, my bond with Oscar. And, look at me now with him. Like, Oscar is pretty much my silicone son, like, as far as in the dolly collecting world. It just doesn't get any better than that for me. So for all you newbies out there, I think if it doesn't feel right, don't do it. If you feel like you're pushing round pegs through square holes to make something happen, it's, and your gut is telling you on the inside that it's not right, perhaps even just emotionally for you, and perhaps from the mommy that's, selling the doll, or even the artist. You want to, if you're buying new from an artist, you need to choose an artist that you're vibing with, that you really, love not only their work, but their, like integrity. You want to look and see if they work on, a time frame that works for you, how well do they stick to it, and things like that. Because, some artists like bang out the dolls and are pretty much on schedule, and some, this is like a part-time thing for them, and they have families and other things, and, that have to come first, and yada yada yada. And you can tell that by just like looking at an artist's page and seeing, like, are they always like saying thank you to all my patient customers, and always, or always posting like excuses, and I've been sick, my kids got sick, I couldn't work on these orders, they're coming soon. And if it's like a constant, you know what I mean? And sometimes you just love an artist's work and you're just cool waiting, and which is fine, which is great, as long as you have that understanding, that it may be, 4 or 5 times as long as the estimated time, as long as you're okay with that, and you're like, my end result is like, I just really want this artist's work, it's worth the wait. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. It all has to be just what you're okay with. And as far as secondhand, purchases, trades, and, all things of that nature, I think that it's just really important, not to push things. Then you also have, and I see this happen a lot more often in the silicone secondhand sales than I do with, reborns, or anything else. You see something come up where you buy a baby on the second market from a mommy that was not the first mommy, might be the second or third mommy, or who knows, and then you're, adopting next. And then that whole transaction goes fine, and that's all, on track, and, gone well and everything. But then a previous mommy, to the mommy that you bought from, maybe steps up and expresses their, displeasement, that they would have loved to have had the doll back, or just their, it was one they didn't want to let go of in the first place, and it's upsetting for them to see the doll with you, like, and these things happen, and that can seriously affect your bond with a doll. I could have a chain reaction to, then you may be like, well, now I feel like I can't enjoy this doll because, so and so is, so upset seeing this baby with me. Or, it could even be a friend that you're like, well, okay, I'll get this baby back to you, we'll find me another one. But then, it just like, it can cause just a chain to unfold, that I feel like it's like the fruit from the forbidden tree. Everything now that seeds off of that can be, tainted. So not only to buyers out there, collectors, newbies and seasoned collectors, not only to buying on the second market, but to just all of you collectors and people, in the community in general. It's not fair to do that to, another mommy. It's just not. These are major purchases for, most of us. They're major purchases financially. So much thought goes into it. It's a major investment. And emotionally, it's like, so like, you're nesting, you're buying clothes, and your intentions is for that baby to like be that one, that, you hit the nail on the head, that special baby. And you don't want to affect someone else's, bond, with that baby, because unless you're then, gonna be on it and holding that mommy's hand every day to, find another baby so you can get that baby back, and that you know what I'm saying, that's gonna be your top priority, because in that mommy's mind that's now can't bond with that baby, that's all they're gonna think about, type of thing. So it's just not something, it's just something you want to avoid. And also eventually people will not want to, do transactions with you, or transactions that have been tied to you, because nobody wants to risk that happening. Nobody wants to take that risk to get a doll that they feel like somebody out there, might be unhappy with. I don't know if I'm making sense with that, but I think that a lot of collectors, in particular silicone collectors, if they haven't been through it themselves, they've experienced seeing this unfold, because I've seen multiple stories of this happening. And it's just a shame, because it really does affect a bond with a new mommy. And when you let a doll go, it is, you gotta know that you very likely will never see that doll again. You are kind of signing off on that doll, and that's it, And especially, there is a chain of a first right of refusal. Most of us, out of courtesy, it's just known and we follow that. So if you, on the second market, if you're selling on a baby that you bought from a previous collector, you go to them and give them the first right of refusal for that doll. If you pass on your first right of refusal, then, for whatever your reason, then you can't go back, and then once the new mommy gets the doll, and say, oh, well, I really wish I hadn't, da 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 da. It's really just really unfair. So those are the kind of things that I'm talking about that affect our emotional bonds with the babies, and it can turn your world upside down if you are really like all in and enjoying yourself in the hobby, and it's, you're looking for that dream baby for whatever it is. And for a lot of us, again, it's a big deal. So, and I've seen other things go wrong, and in just many ways. I was just kind of giving you one example because that's an emotional thing, an example of an emotional thing. And then, whereas there's all kinds of other stuff that can go wrong, as far as, things being wrong with dolls, just, you name it, it happens. And here in this community, it happens. So follow your gut is my best suggestion. Is to follow your gut, and don't push things, because you're scared you won't find something. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes we do that as well. We're just like afraid, and we're not gonna find, anything else. So we'll push that round hole that square peg into that round hole to make something work, to make a sale, you know, go through, work, whatever. And that's not the kind of transaction that's a feel good transaction. You know what I mean? So look for the ones that you just are like, everything is just absolutely right as rain, as I said in Oscar's box opening, because then there will be no negative emotions attached to that baby. And you know, when there is, oh, we got some dribbles. We get some dribbles. When there is, you know, it's, you know what? This is great for you to all give your own feedback and your own, like, you know, stories and things like that. You know, I'm sure that some people can get past it. I guess it just totally depends on the circumstances, what's going on the people involved, and then how you feel about the doll, and would you have bonded with the doll to begin with, because sometimes it just happens where we make a purchase and we just want, that doll isn't right for us, the sculpt isn't right for us, we find something, a new dream baby to go after, etc., etc., because a lot of us do buy and sell on the market. So it just totally depends on, you know, just so many different things. But unfortunately, you'll never know if that doll would have turned out to be, you know, that really special one or not, if things were tainted in the first place, is what I'm saying. So there's dolls out there, just move on to just what feels right. And I think what I'm trying to say is, when the excitement is felt on both ends, and the reciprocation of all the good vibes, and everything feeling right is right on both ends, is when it's right. And when you're truly and 100% comfortable also. And I'll add this in the next video, like, sometimes we get excited, and we want something to happen, and then we don't do our due diligence in, you know, checking on things. And I'm more, especially, but reborns too, but certainly with the silicone dolls, like, even if you know someone well, you want to make sure, especially if they're not like frequently like make videos and stuff like that, where you're getting like very good look at the doll and details of the doll and stuff, you want to ask for, you know, detailed photos and, you know, a good video just going over. I mean, it only takes somebody, you know, 15 minutes or so to make you a video. And of course, if they know that you're a serious buyer and gonna go through with the transaction, if, you know, it's no big deal. Personally, when I sell, I do that anyway before I will, you know, take any money. Before I do any transaction, I make a video because I want to know that there's no surprises, that the new mommy knows everything. I will try to point out anything that I think is, you know, like, oh, there's a little, you know, spot here or this or that, just all of that, you know, because I believe in full transparency, and I believe that that's how a good, healthy, you know, transaction goes through, where, so that mommy can, you know what she's getting for her money, feel like either she'll look and say, well, these, you know, whatever, you know, if there's any like issues with the doll, then it's known up front, and they can say, perhaps they want to negotiate the price, they feel like that, you know, etc., etc. You need to do that. So Just be careful when kind of just swapping dolls back and forth. Like, oh, it's a friend. I know, like, people might not do something intentionally to you, but not all collectors, you know, like, examine a doll, you know, from head to toe when they get it. In fact, I had to learn that lesson, you know, for my own self, because in the excitement, you're just like, you get the doll and it feels so real, and it's the baby that you've been longing for, and da 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 da. And, you know, you may not, you know, pick up and notice things for, it just depends. It just totally depends. So that's something that we all have to learn to do. And you know what? I heard it a million times, but it's like, until you experience it, it doesn't resonate, you know. But just trying to save some of you that are a little more like practical and patient, that you might do that. These are all important things, but I'll talk about that in subsequent videos, because I want to get back to continuing to make more collecting videos for you all, to share helpful information and buying and selling and finding your dream babies, and, you know, learning, you know, just whatever things that I can share with all of you. And I love to do so while feeding my babies. Is like my favorite way, I think, to chat with you all. Look at Bindi. Oh my gosh, look at how cute she is. Oh, the movement on this baby. She is just so fun to hold and to feed. Rip up a girl. And I'm going to let you all go, because then now this is another forever video, but I will change her diaper off camera. All right, everyone, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Also, check out my channel membership. It's always in the link in the description below. It is $1.99 a month. It's all inclusive. You can cancel it at any time. You must be 18 years or older to join us. For adults, but come on in for less than the price of a cup of coffee a month. You support my channel. Everything behind the scenes is in there, including my new journey in painting, like everything that I'm working on, like, and then my, you know, exclusive live streams content. And if you want to chat more, personally, you know, in there, in like live chats and, you know, all that stuff, like, it's just all packed into one, you know, membership. So check that out. Also check the link to my Instagram is in the description. And then for membership, you can click the blue join button next to subscribe. But either way, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Don't forget about the notification bell so that you're the first to be notified and get to see the newest videos that I upload. All right, everyone. Till next time. God bless.